They have officially released the actual footage or CCTV of Suga of BTS. They have finally released an actual footage of this guy riding his scooter. Okay, it's a scooter. For those who are trying to consider it something else that it shouldn't be, you guys need to do your own research, man. But hey, you guys were so vocal about, who I should be taking information or like, looking at for information, and this was one of the channels, so we're gonna check it out. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and let's get into it, man. Let's
So
see.
now we have clear and irrefutable CCTV footage of the night that
Damn,
Suga
man.
got taken in by the police because of his DUI mishap
It's crazy.
on a scooter.
Right.
And the truth looks good for BTS Suga, and it looks horrible for the whole media smear campaign that has
The
embroiled some
level of
very
professionalism is being
reputable
exposed here, man.
mainstream media outlets.
Yeah. Let's see this, man. This footage. Oh my god.
So
This
JTBC
nation.
is
Bro, all I'm gonna say is the whole nation owned Suga and the whole BTS, and just even the level. And the fans themselves an actual apology. Like, they should be the one who go in front of what they were claiming, Suga should be doing instead of him. Because it clearly just makes more sense, Like, why do you guys want somebody else who hasn't done nothing but just trying to make it home safe? You know what I mean? Like,
being called out for airing fake CCTV, or to be generous, the wrong CCTV of Suga on his scooter. So originally when the reports came out, we saw this grainy CCTV footage of somebody on a scooter that looked like he was actually on the road. So when sometimes the bicyclists are riding along the road in traffic,
right.
he was going very slowly, so it looked like he was definitely on a scooter. But then there was this whole question of whether it's like
This,
a scooter as in like, well, it's basically just like an electric version of a moped, or is it almost like
you see, that's like the worst thing is like for people to always assume the worst rather than being like, okay, it's clearly, it's either the person is so under influence to the point like, people life are being in danger, or like the life is being in danger, so that you guys can actually assume the worst there. But like, it's crazy how like they just assume the worst from like a blurred video of just something else, that they claim, and it was the closest to what they claim, or like, whatever the issue may be in the moment, that was the closest thing, so people grabbed onto it. And it's crazy how like, if it's a bad thing, people are ready to hop on it. Let's see how they do after
one
this
of those
footage is
scooters
now
that your
reviewed.
kid would use? And so there was this whole debate. Well, now we have evidence of the actual CCTV footage, and the footage that was used was of somebody else. Somebody else was riding that scooter, and JTBC attributed that CCTV footage to Suga when they shouldn't have. And then so they are in a total backtrack mode, but no apologies yet. So we did get the actual scooter footage of BTS Suga on
Yeah,
it,
this is the one
and
that I
have it
saw.
be confirmed by Hype. And you guys, this really is like when they said at first, oh, he was riding a kickboard. It's literally a kickboard. It's literally a kickboard with a seat. We just need somebody now to track down that device, get the model number, get all the specs, lay it to rest, because when we saw the
I
CCTV
mean,
footage,
do we really need to track it down? Like, if it was an investigation, which it shouldn't have been to begin with, they need to be in possession of whatever they're investigating, so it's a form of evidence. You know what I mean? Because I know the police and whatever that department, they didn't disclose any of this information. They just left everybody hanging. That's why everybody was like grabbing onto whatever they can get their hand in the moment. You know what I mean? But I'm saying like, if he was caught and arrested in that moment, not even checked on, then they do have the possession of this evidence. You know what I mean? So I don't think they need to go look out for it unless they're just that bad at their job. You know what I mean? But let's see, man.
it looked like the kid was Like now I'm saying like he's a kid because it reminds me of
Right.
when I was a kid and the big toy was the Power Wheels, you know, like pow pow Power Wheels, like that, like kind of like a fake mini car.
Right.
Up until that point, you had to use pedals to move it along, but this one had a battery and it would move, and you would be like the coolest kid in the neighborhood if you actually had a Power Wheel. It
Facts.
reminded me of the Power Wheel, okay?
And that's literally what I said when I first saw that little footage right there of him, like literally just a sharp turn, and like I think he lose control of like turning it up, or I guess like as he was turning and the momentum, he kind of overdid it, and it shows. And again, it just goes to how of a coincidence was it for three cops to just behind him. Like as soon as he fell down, there was a moment where like he got up and then started pushing his electric bike or like the kickback bike, and then the cops walked towards him or after him after a little bit more of a time between it. No, it was literally as soon as he fell down, boom boom boom, three of them right beside him. It's like, whoa.
So something that's almost like that level. You saw him weave through the sidewalk traffic
Right.
almost as if he was walking. I mean, I have seen girls with high heels that are more dangerous than the little scooter that he was riding, falling down, tripping all over the place. And you saw we're going to go through the entire CCTV footage, but at the end, essentially where he fell down, so-called fell down, was when he made a turn, and those little itty bitty wheels are too small to make a turn like that. I think he maybe forgot for a moment that he was on one of these Power Wheels and he was on a bicycle, because a bicycle could definitely do that. If he were even on a big scooter that he's being accused of by all the aunties, he wouldn't have even fallen over because the wheel could have done that. But that itty bitty little plastic wheel could not handle a turn where he was basically like, okay, I'm gonna turn and park it, and then he fell over.
Yeah.
Yes, he shouldn't have.
Right. It's like the same thing that I just say. Right. Sorry if I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's just like simple stuff that you just have to connect. You don't even have to like over analyze it. You know what I mean? It's like when you're turning, sometimes you overturn it, like how he said, or they said. It's like he's not used to those kind of stuff. Maybe he's just not used to the size of it. He's used to like a bike where like you can actually turn, or like you need to actually use your whole body to turn and not just only turn the front of it. You know what I mean? And it's outrageous, man. Like just it's crazy.
Done what he did, but I could see how there's more justification for HUIs, high heels under the influence, than when he was essentially just turning to park his scooter and then just kind of fell over because the thing was like a Power Wheel, like a toy.
Literally,
Okay,
man.
so let's go through the CCTV together. It's about a minute and 1 second. So you can see Suga come
Okay,
passing
I see
the
him
bus
right there.
stop up there, and
Okay.
underneath the bridge there are the three policemen who are just patrolling, just
Where are they?
walking around. You see Suga now, he's in the middle of the screen, and now
Yeah.
towards the bus stop at the bottom of the screen. Now here's another view. Yes, he's in the white
Okay.
shirt, and you can see
Where are the
even
three cops?
clearer the three bored police officers. Now this is another shot right there where he turned and just tried to park, and then he fell over. His helmet fell off. So yes, he did wear a helmet. Yes, he was on his little scooter that looks like a kickboard. And then there are the
Bruh.
three.
Also, it's like, as I look at this detail, are you guys seeing how, like, he's picking up his helmet? And this guy's like, he perfectly look fine. Maybe it's just way too far and, like, it's too blurred to a point, like, it doesn't show those movement. But I feel like if somebody's, like, so intoxicated, they can't keep the balance, especially when, like, they're bending down. You know what I mean? So it's kind of outrageous. Oh, man. It's frustrating, you know what I mean? Like, all these small details were missing. Like, the cops just rolled in. I hope we don't know what they talked to him about, if they actually asked how he was and, like, everything and caught up with them first before, like, it went into, like, a full-on, hey, let's make sure you were not super drunk. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man.
Policemen. Were they stalking him? Were they following him? I don't really think so at this point, but it definitely looks like they were trying to score an easy win
Right?
against Suga. And so now they're talking to him, and
Okay.
then now they might be making a fuss because recently in the news there's been a lot of anti-scooter sentiment. So this would have been an easy layup for them to report back to their bosses, because the bosses are going to be like, well, what happened on your patrol? And they were like, oh, we got like a scooter rider who was drunk, and then it turned out to be Suga. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
So let's look at that turn again for you guys if you want to keep looking and see what happened. It literally was
You
like,
know,
if this was
I wish like the camera angle hasn't switched to this one that I've paused it at, and like it shows like the whole view of like the cops still walking. I wanted to see the genuine reaction when they saw him falling. Like, was it like a quick rush forward? And like, obviously, I'll give them a benefit of a doubt that they didn't know it was Sugar of BTS. You know what I mean? Like, they for sure weren't aware it was him. You know what I mean? But as the moment went on and they probably find out, then maybe they had that, oh, you know, like we hit a big score, like how they just said, you know, in the video. You know, it's like it's up in the air. Like you can't argue it, and like you can't also defend it.
a kid falling over and not BTS Suga, a grown man, this would be, the police would
Oh
barely
man.
even register this, and they would just keep it moving. This whole thing becoming this national scandal, there's something else going on and people taking advantage of BTS Suga. This is an absolute disgrace what they're doing. He literally fell over. Like I said, there's girls who can fall over even faster and harder than that just wearing high heel shoes, making a turn into the apartment complex. You know, not to just nitpick on girls in high heels. I mean, I've seen drunk men in the bus create more of a danger, arguing.
You know, I get what they're trying to say, and like, you know, trying to like get us to picture, you know what I mean? Like when I first saw this, you know, I was like, I scuffled because I was like, oh, somebody has fell down. You know, it's like it happens. Anybody can do that. You know what I mean? And by accident, like, you know, you just fall down and that's it. You know what I mean? You just have to move on with your thing. But it's just the fact that this person who wasn't known first to be Sugar, you know, just happened to be the person who has done a normal thing. You know what I mean? Something that he probably does, but it just is not seen because he's an idol or an artist. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's a better way to like, you know, describe and picture it than, you know, comparing it to like girls in high heels, because at the same time you just gotta understand he's also being accused, or like he was intoxicated a little bit or had a couple of drinks. So there's a difference to it, you know what I mean? And plus the controversial thing going on with the electric bike or like the kickback scooters, you know, like there's more to this, you know what I
With the
mean?
passengers, picking fights and distracting a bus driver.
Mm-hmm.
So look at this. Look at this. Absolutely ridiculous that this has turned into some sort of witch hunt against BTS Suga. So
Uh,
what I do think though is that because we got the CCTV footage late and we've endured the media manipulation up until this point, BTS Suga apologizing and apologizing deeply so early on actually, I think, worked against him. Because I think what this case shows, is that they're in a somewhat corrupted society. And, you know, especially you can see this with the whole Minijin situation. In a somewhat corrupted society,
right.
apologies have a built-in guilt meter. That what I'm saying is that in this type of environment, the only people who apologize are the ones that are guilty, trying to use it as a tactic to get out of it, not just a heartfelt, actual apology.
But then I get what he's saying, but you know, it's like at the same time, it's like you have this society or this nation who, even before, you know, like anything was proven, you know what I mean? Even when you do go to court, nothing is like an actual charge on you until it's proven guilty. You know what I mean? Like you're not charged of anything until it's proven. You know what I mean? So he just came up and just reassured them, like, nothing was intended to be harmful. He was just enjoying his night, and then he tried to go home, and like, oopsie happened. You know what I mean? And he came up and apologized if any of people offended by that. Like, I apologize, if I mispronounce anything, or like feel like some people are super attached to that, and like if it's being done wrong, you just want to make sure like they know you didn't have the wrong intent. You know what I mean? So there's no guilt in that, and obviously, like he said, like the society already has this view on it. So again, it goes back to the society, and like
And so I think when people saw that Suga apologized so quickly, they're like, oh, this must be a big issue. Oh, he must be really, in trouble. He must have been riding a Harley Davidson and he must be lying about it. Where if then the reason why I think a lot of people love BTS is that they are operating on a different set of world standards
right.
that is not as much in such a corrupted environment, that when somebody says they're sorry, they're actually sorry, and they're not trying to use it as the least horrible alternative. And so I think a lot of people read into this because that's kind of like the way Korean society is right now. Oh, if he apologized, then oh, there must be a lot here to dig, and he's probably very guilty.
You know,
Where
that's like so contradicting, because it's like everybody's on social media right now talking about, oh, he should go to the police station when he get called, and like they should take a picture of him. Like, you guys want him to apologize and picture of his being taken, but when he did actually apologize, you guys are not taking it seriously. What are you guys willing to take? You know what I mean? It's like it's contradicting at this point. It's like, do you want him to apologize? Has he apologized? Why are you guys not accepting that apologies? But you guys have this specific one that you guys will accept. You know what I mean? It's like it's not making sense at all. That's why I'm like, in a way, like, okay, sure, like, him apologizing early might have ticked off the wrong people, and like thinking, okay, maybe it might have been something serious when it wasn't. But at the same time, it's like, that's this accountability. People know how to take it, and sometimes you don't have to fight it, or like, try to be against it, like, oh yeah, I did do it, but like, no, like some people do know, okay, I did take it, but if I try to like prove myself that I did do this wrong, then it's gonna look bad. I'd rather just apologize and take accountability, or like what I've done, and live with it. You know what I mean?
whereas that's not the case at all here. And also, I think we have to just let it out that this is a very unfortunate situation yet again, that there is some kind of strange crab in the bucket mentality when it comes to BTS and Korean society. Like, within Korea, these are your own people. Why are you so cruel to your own people who actually have brought so many benefits to you?
Mm-hmm.
And a crab in the bucket mentality, though, is that they're so jealous. And
They are.
the metaphor, if you're not familiar, is that a crab in a bucket, if they're just in a pail, they can crawl out on their own. But if you put two or more crabs in the bucket, nobody can climb out of the pail or the bucket, because as soon as one crab is almost out, there's another crab behind them pulling them down, pulling them down. And so
Wow.
even, you know, I've heard from somebody kind of close to Isuman, just kind of as an aside, that, yep, in Korea, there's just no way to really truly succeed because there's always going to be somebody trying to.
And it perfectly summons even like the beginning of the career, where like the whole media wasn't even supporting them. You know what I mean? They had to like get out of the regular cultured normalized stuff, or way to do your music career, and like actually went a different way, like your unnatural, normal stuff to do it. You know what I mean? Like they had to get it the hard way, and like they did it, and like it's working miraculously for them. You know what I mean? To a point where like everybody wants a piece of it, or like everybody's now mad of even more. Like they didn't support them, and when they did it without them, they got mad even more. So this perfectly describe and like actually illustrate what is really going on in South Korea. You know what I mean? And like again, this mentality is like, instead of actually handling and like approaching and solving all the stuff that are, killing a lot of people and like, destroying a lot of lives in Korea. Because like me personally, I'm not from there, but I've seen a lot of like pictures and videos of like drunk people all over the place, and like, people do come and try to help them by leaving water beside them. But it's like those kind of stuff could be solved easily. Alcohol could be less accessible, you know what I mean? And there's more stuff that you guys could do, personally, at least from my perspective here, rather than using the whole nation news outlet to like, hunt down this one individual for doing a oopsie. You know what I mean? It's outrageous, man.
Tear you down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's horrible type of thinking, because then that automatically sets a limit
It
to
does.
how much development or how high you can go. And it's a very much of a thinking where that there's only so much of a pie that can go around, instead of, if you grow the pie, then everybody can get a little bit more. But if you're in this kind of corrupted society, this is where it starts to go down into the level of thinking of society, and you just can't do anything about it, because you don't know which one is going to be the crab that's going to sabotage you.
That's fucking
Anyhow, so
sad,
we've
man.
seen some of
That's
the
really
crabs
sad.
here, though.
Mm-hmm.
We saw JTBC come out and seem like it targeted BTS Suga. We've seen a shameless reporter on some like online entertainment site taunting Suga to go to the police and stand for the photo line, as if that is the solution to solve the national outrage or his guilt. So manipulative. That's actually going to make the thing so much worse, and actually give them more fodder to do all of this. But at the same time,
It's like they have this satisfaction because I guess your picture being taken in front of like the police station is a form of it's a form of embarrassment, and as soon as it's taken, they have this power over you, like, of embarrassments that they did to you. You know what I mean? And it's sad, man. It's like you guys gotta move on. Like those are the kind of stuff even children shouldn't even be doing anymore at this point. You know what I mean? It's like this generations that come, and like stuff just need to like change as it comes. You know what I mean? It's like you can't be stuck on the same old stuff that you guys are used to doing. You know what I mean? And you just can't be the crap. You know what I mean? Like just do something for a change. Speak up for something that is doing a lot for other people rather than only for one individual. You know what I mean? It's like
the biggest problem, though, are the people just willing to accept this and, drink the banana milk, eat the monkey cake, and act like a monkey and just kind of accept lies. But then again, I don't know, if you've ever been to a zoo, the monkeys seem to really know what's going on. They're really good at observing. So I think we have the wrong metaphor. It's like just being a human. I mean, have
I
you
love
ever
all the
heard
metaphor he's using, and like
how
all the references trying to
complex
like get
and
you to picture it.
well thought out, in a way, well thought out, somebody's excuses for being ignorant or stupid?
Mm-hmm.
There's no other species in the animal kingdom that rationalizes idiocy as well as humans do. So
Facts.
I hope that there, if not Big Hit, Hybe, or even Suga going after JTBC or the police, I hope somebody does, because somebody has to create a line in the
Yeah, there's like a sense of accountability that gotta come from the media, especially JBT, whatever it's called, you know? And also the police has to show some kind of professionalism and like, talk about it, because this is just outrageous. You know what I mean? It's like if it's an investigation, which it shouldn't have been, from what I've seen, if it ends up being an investigation, it's like nobody's supposed to be talking about it or doing anything to interfere with it. You know what I mean? Or like mess up the evidence. You know what I mean? In terms of like falsely damaging somebody's image while falsely accusing them of something that never actually happened. And for the police station to be doing an investigation, and like, there's like noises all over the place that this happened. Obviously people are allowed freedom of speech, but it's like there's an extent that you can go on about like something that is still being investigated. You know what I mean? And the fact that it went to this point is just crazy.
Sand, saying that you guys really crossed something here, and this is actually affecting all of society.
Hmm.
Once it happens to someone like Suga, it can happen to anybody else. And the
Even worse to
unfortunate
those,
thing about
to just add to their point, even worse to somebody who doesn't have power like Sugar. Sugar is like a well-known artist, and they have like a label and like company behind them, all those sort of stuff. But like somebody who's like a regular person, they don't have that kind of like audience that can actually support them and like bring a brighter light to that situation. So you also got to think
the
about that.
situation is that I think you gotta be a little bit dirty to fight dirty, and that is
Hey,
not in
hey, Army, you all tell them what you all did, man. It's like, like I saw a comment on my video that I previously did, about like Army, like bring attention to a song that Sugar did 7 or 8 years ago. It's called Last, and they brought it back on the chart, and it went back to number one. After 8 years. You know what I mean? So it's like they're fighting the fact that this outlet is trying to use Sugar as a bad individual, and like they use that attraction, you know, to turn it into like making it a better thing for like Sugar sales and stuff, and it worked. You know what I mean? So they did actually use dirt against dirt. You know what I
the
mean?
brand identity of BTS.
Yeah.
So fine, I think maybe they should not do it. But hey, if somebody else wants to take up the mantle of Mr. Dirty and let them be Mr. Clean, maybe that's what's necessary. Because the way that I saw what happened with the little power wheel falling over and the little plastic getting all up crunched up in a bunch, and then the police making a big deal out of it. If this were somebody's kid, especially in that neighborhood, in that complex, if there was somebody's, like, even a 30-year-old, like, as a kid of a powerful person, those three police officers who made that report would be in fear of their jobs right now. They would be intimidated to the hilt. They would rescind any kind of thing that happened and just said that it was literally like a leaf that blew over, that there would be no issue. The fact that there is no countervailing force, and unfortunately in this type of society you have to meet force with force.
It's messed up because it's like at the end of the day, it's like the authorities still have power regardless, even if you do meet it with force. You know what I mean? It's like there's just that sad reality to it, but it just sucks that it even has to go to that position. You know what I mean?
That goes to show how much restraint and what a different type of character the BTS guys have, that they're not willing to be in that dirty fight, that they really are just letting truth prevail eventually, but taking the risk that during that wait,
It's gonna
you
hurt.
could be convicted or ended during the wait.
Yeah.
But what this shows to me is just
Sorry.
even more support for the BTS members and the whole movement, is that they're not willing to engage in this dirtiness.
No, and
And
like that's like one thing that I've seen about BTS is the fact that they never rush to do anything or like to change your mind about what you have already made, or like convince yourself that it's the fact. You know what I mean? It's like they take the time to actually prepare themselves, and like actually just come and give it to you up front. Or like in this situation, Sugar was able to like, hey, I fucked up. This is my apology. I apologize. It won't happen again. I'm sorry for those. You know what I mean? It's like they know when to do stuff and when not to. And it just sucks like, the world sometimes doesn't operate that way, even though that's how it's supposed to be.
let the monsters eventually reveal themselves, although they don't always show themselves. And but that's bravery, to be able
It
to
is.
be willing to take that risk. All right, guys, you saw the CCTV.
Hey, man. Hey, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction, man. Like, they seem to be dropping some good videos, and if there's more, I'm going to keep reacting to them. If there's more other ones from a different channel, you guys let me know in the comment, and just give me your thoughts in the comment. Apart from you guys being here for Suga of BTS, what are the army doing, to support from different part of the world, as of this moment. I consider myself, not this moment, I've always been an army, you know what I mean? But I guess this is my form of me supporting it and like showing my support by, even furthermore showing this to more audience or exposing it to more people. I hope it's helping, and you guys let me know in the comment, how you guys enjoying it, and make sure you that subscribe button, like the video, and keep me in the loop. Alright, I'm gonna see you all next time. Peace.